What's up, YouTube? FatKings Phil coming at you for my week 29 update from vertical sleeve gastrectomy back in July. For starters, let's do a couple shout outs. First off, Peak's journey. Peak's had his surgery, I believe, and this screws me up because I have to deal with the future because Australia's in the future, and so is New Zealand. He had his surgery, I believe, yesterday. So hope you're recovering, brother, and you're gonna kill it. I talked about him in the last video. He just lost a crap ton of weight before he even got on the surgery situation. So you guys should check him out. Go check him out. And then TJ hit goal. So if you missed that video, you did yourself a disservice. Go check that out. That is a funny video. But congrats to him as well. So finally, I can have this damn channel to myself. There will be I'm sure TJ will still be reporting in, and at the very least, I mean, he'll be doing Fat Kings Fridays, so not too worried about that. All right, so let's do the numbers, and then we'll talk a little bit about this week. So, day of surgery, I was 332.8. This morning, I was 238.6, which is a 2.2 pound loss this week. I'll take it. Thank God. I'm happy to see those numbers being a little more consistent now. And that'll dovetail nicely into another part when we get there later, but we'll talk a little bit about what I've been eating and stuff like that. 94.2 pounds total, so creeping up on that 100-pound mark. But at this pace, I'm not expecting to make that before I end up going to New Orleans, and I'm okay with that. If anything, if I don't hit it before New Orleans, it'll probably be a little while after New Orleans. I think I've spoken about this before. So the conversions are also there in kilograms for those of you that are on the kilogram system. So enjoy, and you double check my math because hopefully I updated everything, but it looks good. All right. So a couple weird things happened this week. Last Wednesday, after my strength training class, or in the middle of my strength training class, actually, I kind of got like a hypoglycemic kind of reaction where I just started feeling shaky and weak, and haven't had that feeling since way back in the day when I was eating crap tons of sugar and then crashing, and crap tons of sugar and crashing. So that was a little weird. It wasn't quite to that extreme, but I did stop my workout at that point and kind of walk away and go rest. So no problem since. I don't know what to say. I wasn't doing anything particularly more aggressive or heavier or anything like that. So I don't know. Just one of the things along the journey here. So mentally, I've been really anxious. I've been looking for like an outlet. I've talked a lot about this with like, maybe it's because I don't have little self-gratification, outlets anymore, or I don't partake in them. But that was kind of on my mind quite a lot last week. And then Saturday, I kind of Friday night, I had a very, a detailed, conversation with a friend, and I kind of just got permission to let shit go, which sounds weird, and I didn't get it from the other person. I got it from myself through that conversation. Like, it just made me make some realizations, and I just kind of just let it go. Whatever. I don't know what I was putting all the pressure on the speedier loss for. I mean, I'll beat a goal well before the 1 year mark. I'm not, what's the big rush? So, as long as I'm seeing consistent drops, I'm happy. Like I said, if I just saw 1 pound a week, I'd be okay. So that was kind of that. And I just kind of let that go, man. I just kind of, I don't know. I kind of let it go. And, I was overthinking a lot of other things in my personal life and trying to maybe find some kind of middle ground with, struggling with some issues. And finally I just decided I don't need to worry about that. I can just accept it for what it is. Don't wrap a lot of meaning around it. It is what it is. Let it happen. Let things go, and just see where it takes you. So I've used this analogy before, and I tend to forget it. So life, is a lot like being in a boat, and you're going down a river, and sometimes the river's running rapid, and sometimes it's really still. And sometimes when it's running rapid, you're trying to paddle in a direction you think that you want to go. You're whiskey bent and hell bound to go left, and so you're paddling. And the river really wants to flow right, and you're just fighting it. And sometimes you get to the left side, but maybe that's not where you really were meant to be. Maybe you were meant to be on the right side. So sometimes you just gotta steer around the rocks and let the river take you where it's going to take you. And there certainly is no point in paddling back upstream when you're in the rapids. So you're just going to get tired. So that's my analogy, and I'm trying to like own it a little bit more and remember it. I'm great at giving advice. I tend to forget to take it, however. So that kind of realization parlayed into two things. The first one was I was telling TJ, I realized I used to say, man, I wish I could do that. And now I'm trying to ask myself, when am I going to do that? So now I can do a lot of these things that I wanted to do before. And and I don't know why. I think I was stuck in that mentality of, well, that's for normies. That's for normal people, or, those events or those activities are for normal people. And I'm not, I'm almost normal. I mean, I talked a little bit about body fat last week, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that here at the end of the video, or a little bit further down the video. But I'm starting to see some indicators that I am pretty close to normal. I'm getting pretty close to a normal range, which is, my brain just, I don't think is caught up. And I think I need to see these things more. And one of those things was Saturday, I went to buy new ski pants because my ski bib is like a 3X. I had a hell of a time finding that thing originally, and apparently not a bunch of 3X people skiing. So I found it, and I put it on, and it's too big. I couldn't even use it for the one day. I just wanted to get out and go skiing again here probably this weekend or next weekend. And so I'm like, screw it. I'm going to go see if I can find some cheap ski pants. So I went over to Walmart, and I grabbed them. And I said, well, the label says a large is 36, 38. I can't be in a large. I know I wear 38 pants, and I know they're a little loose, but I'm like, they're not that loose. So I took the large and the extra large into the dressing room. I put the large on over my jeans, and it fit. Now, I don't think I would ski with it over my jeans. So I said, well, let me just take the jeans off and just wear it with just my boxers, or what I would probably wear with like my thermals or something. So put them on. Awesome. Knelt down in the dressing room, squatted down, plenty of room, no chance that I'm going to tear them or rip them. And they fit great. So I was like, wow, awesome. This is amazing. But on a fluke, I said, I'm going to try a large t-shirt. And for those of you who are on Facebook, you saw my post on the Fat Kings page of the Batman shirt. It was like a $7 shirt. I'm like, just buy this. I didn't want to try that on there. I was like a little too self-conscious about it. I don't know why. I'm in a dressing room, but I'm like, I'll try it on at home. If it doesn't fit, I'll give it to the kid. He can use it as a very big, sleep shirt or something. So I went and I came home with it and tried it on, and it fit. Now it's a little snug around the middle where, he shows off few too many spots where the skin is kind of loose and rolled up a little bit. But all in all, it fit fine. It felt fine. It wasn't tight. It wasn't uncomfortable. So that blew my mind. And again, that's another one of those things that really helped my brain kind of catch up a little bit. So it is what it is. However, when that happened, I was like kind of flipped out a little bit, as you might imagine. So I just kept walking around going, I just can't believe that. I can't believe that. And my wife just, was like, oh, that's great, honey. And like, there was a part of me that got upset. I'm like, what do you mean that's great? Yeah, it's great, but do you not understand? And then I realized that I cannot expect her to understand this journey. I just can't. She doesn't have the frame reference that you guys do. So, and I'm not upset about that. I'm not upset at her about that anymore. Like, there was a time where I was, and I just like, how could you not understand this? I mean, this is huge. But she can't. I mean, she's been a normie her whole life. She was a swimsuit model at one point. She hates me telling that. But, this is somebody who's always had a nice body and, good looks and all that stuff. So for her, that's the norm, right? So like, oh yeah, you got into the next size down. So what? I mean, I get into the next size down all the time. Like, hey, it's not that she's being mean. It's just like, yeah, she's just not assigning it the same importance that I do. She's probably assigning it the importance a normal person would. So, to where you guys understand and assign it a lot more importance. So that's kind of where I'm at. So think about that. The people in your life, if you're upset with them because they don't understand why you're so excited, or they're not excited for you the way you are, they can't be. They just don't have that frame of reference. I don't know. Think on it. So go back to the body fat thing. So I looked up a body, when I got that 23% body fat, and again, I know those stand-on scales are not particularly great for this. But again, I used the same scale throughout and the same body fat measurement tool throughout. So to come back at a 23%, I was like, what the hell does a 23% really mean? It doesn't really mean anything to me, right? So I went and looked it up, and that's in the average range for a man. A man can be an average body fat percentage of 18 to 24. Fitness would be 14 to 17. So I'm on the high side of average, but I'm in the average, which I'm wearing an average size shirt and an average size pair of pants. And I have an average body fat composition. I mean, that's weird to me. That's hard to understand. So, it really made me think about, well, where do I want to be at the end of this? Am I pushing for a number for the sake of pushing for a number, or maybe I'm being too aggressive? So I think I'm going to call goal 220 at this point. Which is only 5 pounds up from where I said it would be from before. I have a feeling I will probably end up dropping down to 215, maybe even 210. And not that I'm going to be shooting for that, but just as I adjust my eating at the end when I get into maintenance, I notice folks, you make a slight adjustment and then you wait and see how it is, and they tend to drop a little weight and they make a little more of an adjustment. So even if I ended up another 10 pounds down after 220, I mean, that's not going to hurt me. 220 does put me at the overweight rate, just makes it. And me being the person who likes, little goals, it puts me under 100 kilos, which is kind of cool because I hear I heard Big V talking about that when he was doing his weight loss journey, or still is, but before he hit under 100. And so I thought that kind of sounded cool. So at least I'll get those two right there. I think 215 gives me a little more wiggle room for later on for getting life insurance and stuff. But my 215 might be like an 18% body fat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might be because of the skin I've got and because of the size of my bones from being big my whole life and the size of my body, that might be okay. Like, I might be normal at that size. That might be normal composition. Even if it doesn't look it with the skin and those things, it will still be a very healthy, normal place to be. So that's kind of what I'm thinking of right now. But I'm not really putting pressure on it. We're going to see what happens. Next thing is to get to the 100-pound mark for the sake of the 100-pound mark. To TJ's point, there was a time I was 360. I've well gone over the 100-pound point of my highest weight, but I started this journey at 332. So that's really, that's really where I want to benchmark against. But it's all arbitrary. I'm picking that, right? I could just as easily arbitrarily pick 360. It's my highest, and put that up every week, and say, oh yeah, I'm 120 something pounds under. Well, I didn't start technically the surgery that way. So I'm just trying to be as honest as I can be, but again, it made me realize these are all arbitrary numbers. So I hope that gives you something to think about. Yeah, that's kind of where things are at for me. I don't know if TJ will be posting on Mondays anymore. We'll see. But FatKings Friday is coming up in a couple days. Thanks to Will for joining us. That was unexpectedly funny. I didn't think it would be as funny as it was. It felt like there were some dry spots in there when we were recording it, but when I watched it later, I actually had a lot of good laughs out of that. And he could take a good ribbing and give a good ribbing. So I thought he should get some acknowledgement here. So, all right, guys. Well, the journey continues. We will catch you again next week. And until then, remember, it's good to be the king.